All right, folks, here we go. Just pulled up to the pond slash lake, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna be going after some catfish this evening. Got a couple different baits, couple of rods, and we're gonna see how we do. I don't know quite what to expect. Temperatures earlier this week were actually around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's about 70, 75, so we'll see how the drop in temperature will affect the bite, but we're gonna get out there, throw a few baits around. I'm gonna show you guys the rigs I'm using and try to share a few other little tips with you and yeah, see what we get into. So I'm gonna head out there now, start walking to the spot, and I'll check in with you momentarily. All right, so the rig that I'm gonna be using is a Carolina rig. So I'm gonna have a sliding sinker, a bead, a barrel swivel, then about, I don't know, a foot or so of leader line, and down to a circle hook. As for bait, I brought with me some, whoops, if I can grab it, some red worms. Although, to be honest, for the most part, I actually plan on using Cutbait. So I took the liberty to chop up some frozen bluegill that I had at home. Usually if I get a small bait fish and it swallows the hook, I'll just keep it and put it in the freezer and use it as bait for a future outing. So I'm just gonna put one of these chunks on the hook, lob it out there, and wait and see what we get. All right, and I wanna show you guys a little something. See on the tip of that hook how there's a scale right there? You always wanna check your hook to make sure that it's clear of any scales before you toss it out there. Plenty of times guys have lost real big catfish to having their hook blocked off by a scale. Something small like a bluegill might not make a big difference, but if you're using, like, I don't know, let's say cut carp, which has much larger scales, that can absolutely prevent you from getting a solid hook set. So you always want to make sure that, yeah, see, I had another one on there. You always want to make sure that the hook point, when you're using a circle hook, is always free of scales. And as I'm sitting here waiting for a fish, I notice there's a little dead crappie floating here. I might toss this guy out as bait later on too. Actually, he's so small, I might just toss the whole thing out there, see if a fish goes after that. There we go. Oh, it's about time. I have been out here for what seems like forever. Get those off. And we finally got something on here. So, all right, he's bringing in some salad with him. I did see the tail. It's a channel cat. I think he just realized he's been hooked now. Oh, am I glad he's still on. My GoPro camera battery totally just died. I was able to put a new one in without him popping off. Well, that's a decent one. Let me see if I can get him in the net. I got two rods out now, one with the Cutbait, another one with night crawlers, or the red worms rather. I haven't had anything on worms. Oh, come on, dude. There we go. All right, we got our first catfish of the evening. All right, there we go. First catfish on the Cutbait. Not bad for the first fish. Hopefully we get another one. Let's get a good look at him and get him back in. All right. Let's get this guy back in. Oh, there he goes. Ah, so much for reviving him. Took off like a bat out of hell. All right. Historically, I've never done too well using fish heads before, but I know a lot of guys swear by them, so we're gonna toss this out and see if anything goes after it. So something I want to point out to you guys, when you're fishing with circle hooks like I am today, you don't want a big bow in your line. You want to keep your line nice and taut. I don't know how well you could really see it, but and the reason for that is because when a fish goes to pick up the bait and run with it, it actually ends up hooking itself. Unlike a traditional J hook where you'd want to pick up the rod and set the hook, with these here, once I see my rod bend, the bells start going off, all I do is I come down here, I just give it a few cranks of the reel, and then I take it out of the rod holder and let the fight begin. If you try to set the hook when you're using a circle hook, like if you were using say a traditional J hook, chances are you're probably going to actually end up ripping the hook right out of the fish's mouth. So just a little tidbit of information for you with circle hooks. There you go. Got something on here finally. As you can see, we're into the night now. Looks like a bullhead. Yep. All right, got ourselves a bullhead. Still just using chunks of cut bait. It's been a really slow bite, so I'm happy to take anything I can get. There you go. Got a fish on here. I know you guys probably can't see much, so I'm gonna have to use my phone light to show you the fish. All right, we got ourselves another bullhead. All right, there we go. Another bullhead. Interesting that they're hitting the cut bait. Usually I get channel cats on the cut bait, not the bullheads. But these are actually quality ones for this pond too, so I'm not complaining. All right, guys, so I just got back home from the lake, and I gotta say, the fishing did not go quite as I had planned. This is actually the way it's been the last couple of weeks. It's been a little bit of a slow bite. I think it just has to do with these temperatures we've been having. It's just been so darn hot lately. I think the fish are just really lethargic right now, and I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, as the air temps begin to cool a little bit, the fish will start to go into fall mode where they're going to start feeding a lot more aggressively. So I'd like to be back out there again doing exactly what I did today with cut bait and circle hooks again in maybe just a few weeks, and see if we do a little bit better. But overall, I still had a good time. I'm glad we ended up catching at least a decent catfish and a couple of nice bullheads. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button below. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel, and I will catch you all on the next one. Later.